Hi, I'm Steph. If you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support for the heart chakra or energy center, here's the Inkblot. If you want to take a screenshot so you can scry on your own time and terms for shapes or symbols that speak. This is when I go through the energy centers and empathically create to scry and to see. It's my way of extending or sharing space with you in a holistic, healthy way to maintain other things that are going on in physical to metaphysical reality in all the different realms. So it tends to bring in my history of being a yoga and holistic massage guide, and things move a little slower. I scribe, so I will put a screenshot of the end scribes on Instagram and the links below should you care to see that later. But wherever you are, whether you're in a Shavasana state, you're seated and watching, or you're on the go, or perhaps you're just sitting back and listening and utilizing your spiritual senses to see, sense, and feel. If you'd like, take a moment with me to close the eyes. Let's release the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. And in this area, we're bringing our awareness to the heart energy center, wheel, vortexy. Breathing deeply, relaxing the teeth, the tongue, the brow of the eyes. Even perhaps taking a moment to physically press the face, especially if you're a clencher in the teeth. Maybe roll the eyes around, tilt the head back and forth, side stretches if you feel the call. Whatever feels good to you. Continue to breathe. We will begin in a moment, but there's nowhere else to be right now. Bringing your awareness back to the heart, and then adding in the high heart as well if you'd like, and really bringing in this human and higher self heart space. Whether you see this as green, noticing anything that you are feeling in that space. Perhaps you're moving through grief. Perhaps you've just gone through a really deep yogic practice. Whatever the case may be, reflections. It is here that we sit and be together. Thank you for holding space for me to share my insights and for being a guest in this aura. I will begin. I'm seeing a forest at the top and there's foliage. And this foliage is covering what I'm seeing as two salt and pepper shakers. And they're kind of leaning back in a chuckle. And this is a joyful chuckle if you want to bring that into your heart space, wherever you are right now. Human to higher self, your introvert to extrovert, your esoteric to exoteric. They're having a little chuckle in this secret garden. And this is at the top of the high heart. It's really quite lovely. And as it's like I'm scoping in through layers of bushes and trees, I can see this moment happening. And it's endearing, it's authentic, and they're exchanging information from this salt and pepper wisdom, the dark and the light, the up and the down, the density to divinity, whatever the case may be. And then as I'm wandering out a little bit more through the different layers of the green, I'm reaching what looks like eggs, egg yolks. And these egg yolks have a very deep hue of not only yellow, but also orange in there. The heart is where it's making me feel like conception is conceived, where it connects to the mind and the body. It's extended out in each hand, as these yolks are hands. And they're creative in their expression to the aura beside them. No matter how far you feel your heart expands out, or close it is right now as it's being protected, healing, can you bring your awareness to meet where the green space of the heart connects to the hands, the yoke of drawing in and out through this exchange of conception, contemplation, creation. I'm being asked to wander down, and I'm seeing an orbit. And this orbit is in the human heart space. I'm going to take a moment to breathe that in and continue to gaze. You're welcome to shift if you're in a different position or anything else that feels good, or reclaim that tall breath and then resting into whatever position you're in. And it's here which I'm seeing mummy-like bandages. There's someone looking at me. Is it you? Is it a version of you? Is it a hurt? Is it something that's healing or has been healed and I'm still perceiving it as a hurt? I'm unsure. Maybe add on an oracle card to support. But there's an orbit around the head of this. For some, it's still a hurt. For others, it's a healing that hasn't been integrated or just simply released through the yoke of the hands. The card forgiveness has come out as we're in this mummified bandage state. The orbiting is perhaps thought still continuing in relation to this. It could also be an essence of, you'd like to take a moment with me to forgive yourself. If you want to forgive yourself, and yes, want to forgive yourself. To say, I understand in moments when you wanted to be strong, you felt soft. And I understand when you wanted to be doing, you were resting. I understand that you yelled when you wanted to cry. When you screamed or held back that scream and stayed in silence. And no matter which way we're looking at this, we were soft when we wanted to be strong and stand up. They're all strengths serving like this orbit. And they're rotating around reflections. And it's here in this moment, in this very, very moment. Breathe, if you'd like with me. We can say thanks for being so strong and soft, for being silent and screaming, and all of those attributes that were expressed or held in. There's a forgiveness, not in an angst to forget, but to understand the universal unity that they speak to each other like the salt and pepper. They complement each other. And it's so sweetly done that we here in this moment get to reclaim the alchemy of it. And seeing moments of our hurts to healings, reflections our drives to clean up what we care about, to perhaps clean up what we're offering to people in exchange energetically or earthly. Adding some salt, adding some pepper, and knowing we're a little bit better at it now. Knowing we're a little bit better at adding our spice, adding our flavor, adding to the ingredients of our interactions with others, and more importantly, ourselves. And it's bringing it home to starting with the self and having it emanate back out. I'm in that heart space, rising up, the bushes clearing, seeing, and then it spreads out and yolk. Beautiful. That feels really, really nice to me. I hope that did for you. I'm going to add on a few tarot cards while we're here. And again, take a few deep breaths, maybe roll the shoulders, look around your environment. If you're out walking and talking, and if you're in a relaxed state, feel your environment. Feel the earth holding you up, cradling you with your entire weight. You are never too heavy. Never too heavy for the earth to hold you. And if you're out and about, looking around at the colors, the connections, the things communicating around you, and seeing them as supportive. The racing cars, salt and pepper, seeing some speed by and others slow. And remembering there's an in-between. And sometimes you'll pass in the fast lane and return to the slow lane. Other times you'll cruise in the slow lane like a lazy river and just enjoy the ride. Releasing the angst and the anger to be somewhere better than someone else, better than your own self perhaps. The version of you thought about last night, yesterday. 2 pages have come up, Page of Cups and Coins, to support this reflection. The fast lane, the slow lane, the salt and the pepper. The reflecting of writing and holding the cup out to receive in this heart auric space. Drawing my way down, deeper and deeper into the emotional space here of the earth and energetic heart center. It is like a fuzzy friend that I also see as a foe. It's almost as if through its very own essence, iridescent essence, I'm seeing it in water like an octopus. The tentacles that are electric, magnetic, and everything else in between, as though each tentacle of my heart has a tool attached to it. And they work together. One tentacle could be writing, another tentacle is holding up that cup. And we welcome the page energy here. We're releasing any hierarchy of a journey that is a ladder from bottom to top. This is a wide spread sphere. And in this sphere, this creature can exist to utilize all those tools in the heart spaces, emotional, energetically, ethereal, to existence, simply to existence. Each tentacle as well, having tools, are doing the closest to what I can say I'm seeing is mudras. And this brings me back up to the yoking. And it brings me into the space of yoga, where one does it on the mat as a practice, but the implementing, the integration is done everywhere. It's done in every step and breath with the earth, with work, creativity, children, parents, to the way we view television and receive everything. That's the implementation. The flexibility is everywhere to mimic the physical practice of squeezing out the stresses of the heart and body, of course, and squeezing this out, shifting and shaping the body, challenging what we thought were borders and boundaries, and little by little, inch by inch, flexibility forms. And when there's instances where the body may not be able to move, bend, shift, or shape, we honor those. What we could say as a restriction, but we honor that limitation to build from there. Respecting it within ourselves. Instead of looking to bend, we're looking to blend in with reality. Integrate the practice, the flexibility, the flow. And we'll start with ourselves. Our meat suit is our mat. Our mind, our thoughts are the studio space around us. Wherever we go, the way we bend down to pick up something off the floor, folding laundry, to building a house, cutting the grass. It's all relative. When I come back into this octopus squid-like feeling, deep within it are two parts of a whole. And it's almost like this. This is where there's another heart space. Codependency and the key to freedom. And on this card, there's two trees, and that's how I'm seeing it deep within. Can we unlock even our hidden, unaccepted, and I'm saying this with such kindness and compassion, even within myself, secrets that we hold back and hide deep, deep, deep within because we feel scared, or there might be a judgment, even if we are the very person, energy, personality that we're giving that power to. But it's deep within here. And this key is within this squid octopi, and it moves around. So it's never lost, can always be found, is how that's feeling. And any connections to codependencies, keeping it home close, do we have codependencies on thinking a particular way? Applying things to our heart space? Do we hold on to hurts even when they're healed because they serve something, a part of us, somewhere in the psyche or psychic landscapes. And maybe take a moment, if you like, to dig in deep, to peel back the conversation, the codependency conversation with yourself, and become your own heart surgeon therapist. Maybe you're driving, pick a topic, pick one thing, and talk it out, and go deeper, and go deeper. Well, I did this because of that. And then look at that. Why did I do that? I did that because of this. What is this? Question yourself. Challenge with compassion to get to the root. The root. Where the card number is 53, coming to an 8. I'm going to flip the Inkblot and add on some runes for this second portion. If you want to change, if you're in a restorative yoga pose, you're welcome to do so. If you're out and about, maybe now you're at the checkout, or you're turning a different corner than you were before in your car, this, that, or the other. Shift, shape shift. Take the positive element of shape shifting. Move, jaw, teeth, tongue. Re-establish relaxation. I'm seeing seahorses. And we're in this blue space of this heart, the fluid that feels, the fluid that feels. And there's also very prominent dogs. They're at attention. And loyal love. They could look like poodles, any sort of dog that represents to you loyalty and love. And they are quite proud to be in this position. And they work with the seahorses. And if I'm being very, very honest, the dog, if you can imagine that with me, the tail of the dog is the seahorse. And maybe those symbols mean something else to you, and I fully encourage you to follow that. I'm seeing a person, place, or thing that what I'm feeling represents faith. Perhaps this energy stepping forward is of your religion, your culture, your traditions, this, that, or the other. And it's shape-shifting also in front of my eyes. Almost exposing structure and spontaneity, tradition and non-tradition, like it's moving through its polarities for me to consider where my faiths come from, or simply to enjoy them for a moment. And maybe that's a really something maybe you haven't done in a while, or maybe you do all the time and you just want to take another sweet moment to change the imaginary environment and bring up like a bloom, like a lotus bloom, a blue lotus. And imagine this blue lotus begins to open up and expose that environment that holds your faith. The people, the books, the words, anything that represents your faith. Even if that faith is completely invisible and unknown at this moment in time, are you willing to feel it and to feel faith within yourself, faith within the fluidity of what you feel is love. I'm seeing some alligators. They're light green, so they are a light protection of this blue lotus. Whatever this blue lotus landscape is that I'm resonating with as faith in any container in which faith may reside, it does not have to be in a religion, culture, this, that, or the other. It simply could be faith in feeling and trusting my intuition, trusting my gut, trusting that my eyes are observant for both salt and pepper of life, and they're not favoring one or the other. To have faith in my own ability to heal, that I am doing the right things. I am willing to bring in things to help heal. And these alligators protect this blue lotus where this can always be exposed, like a blooming onion, if you're a foodie. I'm drawing down a little bit farther here. Take a deep breath. We're getting ready to close as we're looking at a bigger picture of the heart. And this heart is smiling. The arrows say this way or that way. And the tarot card is engineer. You are the engineer of this beautiful, beautiful blueprint of your being. Taking time to go in and tweak, to fuss with your frequencies, fuss with your faith, question things, be curious about your own existence, your own patterns, your own programming. The 10 of Leviathans was behind it, and be willing to wander around what feels like a suffering. And even in this very moment, if you feel there is a suffering, can you welcome the light of an invisible faith, a knowing faith, to shine upon you, even if it's coming from this little reading here we're doing together, this moment, to feel our connection, to feel that authentic awareness of being here in the same place at the same time, perhaps maybe being on different ends of the planet in completely different time zones, but we are actually here connecting at the same time in the same place. And we get to utilize the expanding aura of the heart. And all of these yolks come in now. And they come in like chickadees. And there's another bird I'm seeing. Budgies. And it's like, no matter when you're here, your awareness that is awesome in and of itself, spending time in the heart space, draws in high quality yolks, budgies, chickadees, birds that are willing to help. Just like the tools of the octopus, and birds can, they can pick off things in the trees to make room for new growth. They can drop things in to add nutrients to your garden of your heart. They communicate. They add a frequency. They are adding a frequency. That's what we're doing here together. Adding to each other's frequencies in a space, still respecting and retaining and reserving the personal power placement of the heart to decide and discern what will add and to what spectrum it's adding. Are these conversations going to add to my grief? Are they going to add to my compassion? Are they going to add just simply space for me to fully let go and express? Are they going to try and fix me? Am I going to try and fix me? All of these beautiful things come in to notice what we're adding to. We always decide. We always hold the choice. Green heart healing card has come through. The jewel, that is you. That is I. That is this whole garden that we're in together. Orange, connection and attunement, just like the yoke, and they are doing a yoga pose, warrior. And last but not least, we have here authentic self. Who are you? And she is in yellow. This person is in yellow. I actually can't see or determine. And look at the people behind them. That's where we are together in this space, your space, my space, sharing collectively in this huge, huge holistic heart. And it comes right down to the bottom where it cradles. And sometimes it feels like our feet are dangling. And that's the sensation I'm getting right now. Like we are each sitting on the edge of our heart aura, feet dangling like it's in the water. Smiling for a moment. I'm going to add on a wee smudge here. Grateful and gratitude for any spirits that have stepped in to support. We have a little bit of peppermint as a soft cleansing, and then spearmint for like a spear of cutting through any of our crap, our own crap or others' crap. We're no longer in the blame game. We are being very, very present. I want to thank you for joining me. Wherever you are, preparing to add a few runes to close. We have dolphin here, new hope. Choice, blue jay, those birds. And last but not least, gecko, act now. So whenever you are ready, in your own time, in your own way to begin to shift, maybe you want to make fists, move the fingers around, roll the feet and the ankles, the head and the neck. Or maybe you're out, like I said, out and about and you're just going to stop and move on. All ways are authentic. They're true and blue. But if you are slowly coming out of your meditative state, take your time. Rise from the heart space, human to high heart. Hold it open. Breathe. Know that work is being done through the tools of the octopi squid. Allow the healing to take place and allow the healing to be healed. And feel full. And feel free to revisit whenever you like. It's been my honor for being a guest here in the shared auric space of the heart for this healing. And until next time, gratitude.